Welcome, Queen. Have you ever asked a direct question and yet you found yourself sitting there listening to the person answer something that had nothing to do with what you asked them? I mean, as they were talking, you literally were thinking, what are they talking about? Because what they're talking about has nothing to do with what I asked them about. If so, I understand. And you may be thinking, maybe they don't understand the question that I ask. And you know what? I used to think that too. But that isn't always the case. In fact, I have come to realize that there are times that people are not just clear about what you said or what you asked them, rather, they are crystal clear about the question that you asked them. And instead of answering it, they make a conscious decision to avoid answering it. And they do this because they don't want to answer your question. It's called avoidance. And that, Queen, that is what I call a conversation shift. Because this person, they are not confused. They didn't misunderstand. They don't need more clarity. They just didn't want to answer your question. So instead, they chose to avoid answering your question. And sometimes they will also deflect from answering the question, or they will delay answering the question. And they do these things as tactics so that they can redirect the conversation to not answer the question that you intended on getting the answer about. And if you aren't careful, you will find yourself following them away from your original intention. Meaning, instead of you staying focused on getting the answer to the question that you ask, you will just allow them to lead you away from the question that you ask. And then the reason that you initiated the conversation does not get addressed, because you will find yourself going in a circle and nothing gets resolved. And that right there, that is the place, that is the point in which so many women lose their position. They lose their position in the conversation. But it doesn't have to be this way. And that's because instead of following this person away from your original intention, down the rabbit hole, around the moon, up, and away, you get the point. Instead of allowing the conversation to shift and drift away from what you desired to get answered, you have the opportunity to redirect the conversation and bring it back to your original intention for having the conversation. Just simply say, I understand what you are saying, and still my question is, and then ask your question. Or if you want some contrast in the conversation, I don't typically recommend it because, as I shared before, the word but cancels out everything that comes before it. But you can use the word but. You could simply say, I hear what you've just said to me, but my question is, and then ask your question. So I'll fill in the blank. For example, I understand what you're saying, but my question is, why did the project not get done on time? I understand what you're saying, and still my question is, what happened last night? You get the picture. That one line is all you need. Just stay right there and use that to redirect the conversation back to your original intention. You can do this whether it is a work situation or a personal situation. And you can use it personally, whether it's with a spouse, a sister, your kids, whoever. It works because it redirects the conversation back to your original intention for initiating the conversation. And when you do this, it lets that other person know that, hey, I understand you said something, but what you said didn't address what I asked. And that's how you bring clarity back to them, to let them know that I'm clear that you are not answering the question that I ask. And what I am requesting is that you answer the question that I ask. That's it. You don't have to over explain. You don't have to argue. You don't have to find yourself feeling stressed and frustrated. Just use that one power line to shift the conversation. When they try to shift you away from your intention for having the conversation. Because a critical thing for you to remember is when you allow people to avoid the question, you unintentionally allow the issue to remain unresolved. Now, if you recognize this pattern happening in your conversations, then I invite you to schedule a discovery call at a day and time that's best suited for you. The link is in the description and pinned to the comment section. That way, together, you and I can get to the root of why your conversations keep taking you in circles when they actually should be clear. As always, I'm C.E. Sam telling you that 24 hours doesn't seem long, but in 24 hours, you can change your life. So go ahead and do something life-changing now.